live. Welcome back. Wait, who is that? Who, Mike Jones? Mike Jones is in the business with us. I had to hit it, bro. Mike, I've been waiting all week to hit that button. I just got to tell you, what's up, my brother? How are you?
Man, I'm doing good, man.
Well, I got to tell you, man, it's got to be a very great feeling for you. Day one of spring practice, flying around out there, having a good time, great time. We'll get into all of that for everybody listening to us. We'll break down just how it was for Mike yesterday in the day one of the Brian Kelly era at spring practice. But Mike, before we get started, let's pay some homage to our good friends over at the Drake Williams Law Firm, and then we'll get started. The DrakeWilliamsLawFirm.com. By the Drake Williams Law Firm, DrakeWilliamsLawFirm.com. Whether you've been injured in an accident, you're preparing for a future with your estate planning, you're getting ready to close in on a real estate deal, or you're about to welcome a new addition through adoption into your family, or you're facing criminal charges, you need very experienced attorneys, and that is what the Drake Williams Law Firm will be able to do for you in navigating the legal system. The door to their cozy office in historic downtown Ponchatoula has been open since 1981. They have helped thousands and thousands of Louisiana families and individuals win cases, close on real estate deals, and regain that peace of mind. Their lawyers over at the Drake Williams Law Firm, Ernie Drake III, Ryan J. Williams, and Summer Vicnair, are very determined, compassionate, and dedicated to their craft. It's the Drake Williams Law Firm, DrakeWilliamsLawFirm.com. Give them a call today at 985-386-7600. Tell them your good friend Blake Ruffino at AYS sent you on by. All right. Awesome. We're out of that break. We're here. We're live. It's a good thing. It's a Friday. Got a lot going into. So, Mike, I'm not going to keep the people waiting, although the people are going to be doing us a favor by hitting the like button, hitting the share, sharing to Facebook groups, subscribing on YouTube, sharing everything. But, Mike, day one, it was intense. It was amazing to see football back. How was it for you, my friend? How was day one of spring practice?
Man, it was great. It was a little bit different, coming from a whole new staff. Like the whole mindset of practice was different. Like you used to get used to doing this thing and this thing and this thing, and now it's like, oh, we do this. Oh, now we got to go all the way over here and do this. It was different, but it was a good time. It was fun to get back on the field with the guys.
Mike, it's interesting because you've been talking about your accountability groups, right? Like you've been talking about how the team's really coming together and things are looking great, but the intensity, Mike, like I used to go through 8x8s in spring practice at camp. And yesterday y'all were doing 8x8s and there wasn't a lot of winded guys. It looked like everybody was intense and focused and ready to go. Did you feel that yesterday from your perspective with everybody on the field, just how locked in everybody was?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. For where we are right now, I would say we're one of the most conditioned teams I've ever been on. Coach Flynn, them guys, they've done a great job of helping us stay in shape, and helping us get ready for this time right now to go ahead and actually be playing ball, And so, yeah, it wasn't a lot of tired guys out there. And, when it was, it wasn't like that for a while. You might have a little moment where you're tired, but you're going to pick it up and get back moving, real soon after that.
Well, day one's a very fundamental, like everything. It's kind of like riding the bike again. Now, my big butt couldn't get on a bike and probably start riding that thing, but it's like getting back on a bike. Mike, is for you, are you like me, like it takes you maybe a couple of hits and a couple of things to get moving and get going? Or are you always like it takes just like you're always naturally good at it? Or does it take you a little bit to get going and sharpen those tools?
I feel like, especially with like a new staff, it's gonna take you a couple. It's gonna take you a couple. Even in a game, I got to take that first hit before I can really I'm just calm for real. But once I kind of get into like the regularness of practice, once I'm 2 weeks from now, I should be good to go. But it's still, like I said, man, it's so different just organizational wise, you run it from here and here and here and here. And, teams do things differently. This is different from the way we practiced last year and even different from the way we practiced at Clemson. And so, it's different. It's a lot of things you got to get used to.
Then, Mike, how are y'all so sure? Well, for you, I'm just going to stick with you. How are you so sharp then? Did y'all practice like how to go, like what was going to happen beforehand, or like how are you so sharp? Was it just a mental focus that you had? Because, Mike, you were. I mean, you were locked in. You could tell. I mean, the eye in the sky don't lie, as Bill Belichick would say. How are you so locked in, though?
I mean, so we do go over like the organization of practice before,
right?
But a couple minutes, and I mean, honestly, if it's just me, I'm not gonna lie, I try to just run wherever everybody's going. If I see
right,
I'm just gonna be and try to be like one of the first ones over there because it'll look like I know where I'm going, and I might go the wrong way, but the coach went the wrong way too. So
right, right. It's so funny that like everybody's learning, but when you get to that technique drill and like then that's when the real intensity starts. And look, we saw Coach Matt House there, your new defensive coordinator, a very intense guy, but a very technical with everything he's doing, like where your foot should be placed. I mean, look, you've been around Coach House. He's been in the NFL. He's been a DC in the SEC. Speak about Coach House, just how he's already helping you and developing your game.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, hearing about Coach House coming to LSU was one of the reasons I for sure know I needed to come back. And he's done, even in this short amount of time, and he's done so much for me. As long as my mindset, with going playing linebacker, man, it's such a detail-oriented game, and it's like I knew that, but I didn't know how detailed it could get. He is all about the little things. The communication is big for him. Just every part of what goes through a play, every single play, it's all that has been emphasized, the past few days, man. And he's really demanding, but for your linebackers, it's what you want. You got to be the guys who, everything operates through. And so, yeah, great man, great dude. Like I said, super demanding. He is super demanding. Y'all gonna see throughout spring as they keep no cameras out there. Y'all gonna see he's demanding. But yeah, man, good guy.
Right.
He does a good job with the backers, man. We all really enjoy him a lot.
Let me ask this, because you talked about specific details, and the specific details you needed to learn, or you need to learn. You're coming from a different position. Okay. You're learning more about inside backer. A couple weeks ago, we talked about how you were truck sticking dudes at playing quarterback. Now you're moving the complete opposite side. Mike, what are those small details that you had to learn? Like, let me give an example. I never played center a day in my life until I got into college. Okay. Yeah. I got to learn the blitz packages. I got to learn how to move my feet. And even just a simple little thing, what are some details that you've learned and moving to that position, even with Coach House in day one, that you're picking up on and focusing in on now?
Yeah. I would say one thing I've learned a lot from Coach House is just different ways to like use your hands, and defeat blocks. Everybody kind of has their own thing, but with Coach House, I've learned some things that I didn't even know, you could really do, and yeah, that's a huge part of the game. Getting off blocks, that's when it comes to the running game, that's the name of the game. That's what you need the linebackers to do. And so that's something definitely that, I've learned a lot. Just the level of communication needed to be out there and be an effective linebacker. He's put me on game onto what I need to do, and like I'm truly appreciative of it because I know this is what they do at the next level. This is the standard at the next level. This is what the best do, and so for me and all the other linebackers in here, man, this is just going to make us better as a whole. It's going to make the whole defense better as a whole. And I'm super excited, man. I'm super glad to have him here, and I appreciate that he's challenging us, man. It's not no cakewalk, just go out there and play. He's challenging us in all aspects of our game.
And I'm sure someone that's as disciplined and focused as you like that, right? Like you like that. I could tell when I asked about Coach House and you lit up and you're like, hey, bro, I got basically what you're saying, Mike, that the way that I'm hearing it, tell me if I'm wrong or not. It's, hey, bro, I got to bring my lunch pail. Like I got to bring my lunch pail every day to work. That's what I'm hearing.
Heck yes. The way he coaches, it's a strain. And that's what we emphasize, man. It's strain. But it's going to make me better. It's going to make the whole linebacker group better. And that's what I needed. And that's what we all needed.
So are you ready to laugh? I know you're ready to laugh, but the Golden Boot Pod says, sorry, I'm late. Coach Kelly had me running laps. It seems like Coach Kelly's putting everybody through spring drills here, Mike. I mean, I don't know. So you talk about practice, and I want to get to you as an individual. Well, let me say this, because Kyle brings up something interesting. We could tee off on this one. He says, hot take, Mike Jones Jr. for the Buckus Award. Mike, let me put my own spin on that. At the end of the season, if you're standing up there in New York and you're winning the Buckus Award and as the best linebacker in college football, what would that mean to you?
Man, that would be crazy. it would mean so much to me, man. And like right now, that's not even my what I'm even thinking about. I want to win games and I want to play my best ball. So whatever happens with that happens. But if I do get to that point and something like that were to happen, man, I would just be extremely thankful, man, because it's been a long journey. This is year 5. I've met a lot of people, man, went through a lot of adversity, battled through a lot of adversity, had a whole bunch of people help me up, when things wasn't going wrong. And so to be at that point, man, and that's kind of my whole mindset behind this season, man, is, I'm doing this for all the people that's helped me get where I'm at, because, at this point, I'm old. I can walk on my 2 feet, and now it's time for me to show the people who did help me get here, that thank you, basically. So, yeah.
All I ask is if and when you win that Buckus, I want you to put it in the studio, Mike. Let's put it in the studio. Joe Burrow's got his Heisman Trophy in his daddy's garage. I mean, can a brother get a Buckus Award? Let's just put it in the studio, put your jersey up there, stuff like that. I mean, help a brother out here. You know what I mean?
I don't know how hard I would have to try to pry that out of my mother's hands. I'd play another game. It'd be another game trying to get it out.
Hey, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna run we're gonna run a trick play, okay? Where you fake it to your mom and give it to the AYS studio. I'm just joking. But look, I think what you said there, in all seriousness, when you focus like that, that's how you win those awards, though. That's how you get there. And you love to see that. LGZ, I'm going to get to a couple questions here, but he says, hashtag Ask Mike, who was one of the hardest workers on the team that maybe doesn't get enough credit? Somebody that's in your linebacking core who got a lot of praise yesterday, who looked really good, was Greg Penn III. Greg obviously had a lot of people kind of turning their eyes at him because he's getting older, Mike. His body's changing. Outside of him, is anybody else that you saw yesterday was like, man, this guy really put in some work, and now we're seeing it here on the field?
Jared Smalls was flying around the whole freaking day. He was flying, man. Now we was watching some film today, and man, I was like, good Lord, you didn't get tired at all? What did it look like?
Hey, what's funny, Mike, is when you're sitting there watching film, on your off day, and you're like, God, you look at a dude and you're like, dog, dog, like, bro. And that's what iron sharpens iron, man. Like, you're like, bro, now I got to pick up my game. Like, dog, why you got to be so damn good, bro?
Absolutely. I can promise you I'm going to be trying to run as hard as I can all day tomorrow.
I heard that. Danny says he loves you, man. You're the AYS favorite. You're the AYS favorite. Mike, I know we talked about some fundamental football and some attention to detail, but I want to get deeper into that. Was football the only sport you played, or was there other sports that you played? And when is football the one that you grew up loving the most? Is that, I mean, maybe it is. It was for me. But what other sports did Mike Jones play growing up?
Man, so I about did it all. I think I actually started playing soccer whenever I was super young. And then I played tackle football. I remember I hated it. At the beginning, I hated it. I used to be out there crying every day. And my dad,
me too.
You know what I'm saying, man? Snot running down my nose, crying. Dad telling me, go back out there, you acting soft. I'm 5 years old. You know, man. Thinking about football, and then I stopped playing soccer when I was young, and once I got into like middle school, my granddad was a big baseball guy, so I played a little bit. And then that baseball is in the spring, and so I'm going into high school, and baseball and basketball in the spring. So my dad's like, "Listen, son, I know you love them, but they're done. Spring ball." And so that is when I stopped playing all other sports, man. And I don't know if I necessarily can say I had a choice, but I am glad to be where I'm at.
Yeah, and look, Mike, it's funny when you have multiple concentrations, you can't have one, and you look, every athlete like you is a multi-sport guy, but then they focus into one. It's not Deion Sanders don't fall off on trees, right? Like, he played in a football game and then he went to the Atlanta Braves in a playoff game and went 3 for 4. I mean, that's impossible in today's game. Bo Jackson. I mean, that's why you don't really see it. But did Mike Jones hit bombs when he played baseball? Did you hit a lot of homers?
This is the thing, man. So I'm in 6th grade, and I remember this was my first year. I don't know, I changed leagues or something like that. And so I wasn't as strong, man, but I was fast. And so I think it wasn't no crazy number, but I didn't hit one over the fence. But everyone that touched the fence was an in the park home run. I was flying around.
Okay.
Get it over.
So we're talking about like 4.3 speed. So when you go to the combine next year, if you're not running a 4.3, we got issues. That's what I'm hearing.
If I run a 4.3, so life is good. Okay, I wouldn't set that as the expectation.
Hey, I gotta tell you a very funny story. Probably the worst story of my life. I ran a 40 in college. Okay, my last 40 I've ever run. Coach looks at me, hand time, goes 4.92. Okay, and I'm like 306 pounds, 4.92. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
So I get back and I'm cocky. Okay, I'm talking mad amount of trash, and I'm like, I'm like Conor McGregor in this thing. I'm like, I'd like to take this time to apologize to absolutely nobody. The center champ does whatever in the heck he wants. So I got a little too big for my britches. And he walks over to me and he goes, "Hey, Rufino." I said, "Yes, coach." And he looks at me and goes, I meant 6'9" and 6'9". And everybody just starts busting out laughing. And he takes me to the side and he's like, "No, your first time's right, but don't ever do that again." Let me tell you something. I never bragged about a lift, a 40 time ever again. Wow. So you want to talk about humiliating. So when you're running the 40, just remember my old buddy Blake's, I can't get cocky when I run this 4.4. Mike Jones Jr. joining us. You can follow him on Twitter. It's right there. Man, look at the new studio. We're getting this M Jones 24. You can follow him there. Mike, one last one and we'll get out of here because we're about 25 minutes in. But what are you, after day one, you get some of these things down. It's going to take a couple of practices to get into it. What would you say you're trying to accomplish day in and day out? Like, I know that, like you talked about watching film just a minute ago, you obviously want to get better for then. Is there something that you chart down, and you don't have to say what it is, but like something mentally you're charting down that you want to get better at in the next day?
Yeah, absolutely. One thing that I try to come out there with a focus on, run to the ball as fast as I can every snap. And like I was talking about Smalls, man, I thought I was flying to the ball. Now I was flying to the ball the other day, but watching Smalls, I'm like, you know what? I could have done a little bit more. I could have ran a little bit harder. So yeah, definitely that, and just trying to be the best communicator I can be on the field. That just makes it easier for everybody, and that's something I need to do better. And without it can cause the defense a lot of trouble. But whenever you're just super proactive with it, it kind of just makes everybody else's jobs easier. And so those are two things that I've really been harping on myself, communicating well and running to the ball as hard as I can.
Mike, in reference to defense, team speed, There's things you can teach. There's things you can't teach. When you look at defenses around the SEC, along with yourself and your defense from last year, is that the biggest difference maker in the SEC than maybe some other conferences that you've played against, playoff, non-conference or whatever? Is the speed just the biggest thing, or is it more speed? And I mean, obviously the physicality, but is the speed a bigger difference, or would you say the physicality is a bigger difference?
I definitely think the physicality, honestly.
Okay.
Speed is a factor too, but I feel like everybody's kind of fast, around. But one thing that is different is the size. Everybody, I would say everybody's fast, but you don't have everybody fast that's freaking huge. Now in the SEC, pretty much everybody's huge. And they all running fast as everybody else. And then they all physical and want to hit. And so, yeah, that's probably the main difference right there. The speed, the size, and the physicality is all part of it.
Hey, I mean, I talk about Fletcher Cox, but Braden Fehoko gets on me too. I mean, man, it's a different ball game out there, bro. It's a different ball game out there. He is Mike Jones Jr. Mike, anything else you want to tell the fans in going out? I know everybody's seeing everything that's going on. But in leaving and ending, I guess we should say, you know what? We're going to table that for next week. So the way that we're going to do that, you're going to have to subscribe and get to it. Mike, we've been fantastic. Everybody, y'all been fantastic. We'll see y'all soon. Mike Jones, you've been fantastic as always. We'll see y'all soon. Y'all have a good night.